And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I want a man, Tori, that can actually advise me. Who can say,
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. I was with you until then.
Okay.
I was.
You can go where the hell you want to go.
Well, no, I want to push back on that.
A black man and his daughter about when the world starts to go into chaos, you cannot give out willy-nilly giving trust to everyone, and especially for white people. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it said.
Yeah.
So people are upset because they're saying that Obama was supporting language that was hateful towards white people.
Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm your girl Trish.
I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press.
If this is your first time watching, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I mean,
Bitter fingers. Yo, I used to. Never mind. Anyway, so welcome. Go ahead and hit the bell for notifications for all future episodes. Today we're gonna talk about Taraji P. Henson. We're gonna talk about Barack Obama and some hot water. We're gonna talk about China. I know y'all don't really care about the news, but we're gonna talk about Ebony K. She said she actually said some stuff that like put women out there, the truth about it. But we're gonna talk about all that. So first up, what we got?
First up, we got Taraji.
Yes.
P. Henson.
What happened with her?
So, in Hollywood.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like the females are underpaid from the men.
Yeah.
And they have to try like twice as hard. That's not only in Hollywood, it's everywhere.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Let's do what Taraji P. Henson had a
When it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, you know? Because what does that mean? What is that telling me?
What is it telling me? Yeah. And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So she was on an episode with on a podcast, what have you, interviewing and talking about how when she gets a check, she has to break that down into 3 or 4 different levels.
Yeah.
So she says half of it is going to Uncle Sam. That's so she said it was like if she gets a 10 million, at 50 million, 5 million of that is going to Uncle Sam. 30% of that is going to the people that work for her.
Yeah.
And the rest is what she actually gets to keep. So when she getting that check from these producers or from these companies to act in a movie, and she said she was doing so much work because she doesn't have a choice because she has so much work to do or so many people that she needs to support. And for me, matter of fact, ladies first, I'll let you go. What do you feel about the situation?
I think that's everybody. That's nowadays you get your paycheck, you only get like 40 to 50% of your paycheck.
Yeah.
They're taking out taxes, they're taking out Medicare, they're taking out this random stuff.
And then you got inflation.
Yeah. And then you pay taxes before you get your money off of your gross pay. But you go to the grocery store and you're paying it again.
Exactly.
So it's like,
yeah,
you tax multiple times.
Exactly.
Yep, on that same dollar. So
I was thinking the same thing, along the same line. Like what Taraji is going through is what we, as especially black people, go through. And then of course the rest of the business world is saying that black women don't get paid at the same level as male.
They don't.
And honestly, I believe that is especially in the acting industry. There's only so many people that can be in that bubble.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you can be. There's only so many people that can be at the top. There's only so many people that can be in the middle, and only so many people that can be at the bottom. Those are the only people that they want. Those are the only people getting casted to play these roles. So the people that are actually being struggling actors and actresses are not getting the roles at all. So it's a struggle, and I understand the struggle, but you're still doing a whole lot better than a lot of people.
Yeah. But at the same time, they still do have like extra expenses.
Yeah.
Like you have the upkeep, you have to pay like your personal assistant. They do have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
So it kind of equates and balances out depending on how you spend and stretch your dollar.
Because if you balance it out with the average person that is working a 9 to 5 and they got kids to feed and they got a family to support.
They just do them.
Yeah. But they don't. Even if Taraji gets 10 million and she only goes home with 1 million, she's still doing better than how many?
Yeah. But they still have like their rent and their mortgages be like
because
$10,000.
But everything of that, all of that's choice though. Like, I don't know. Do you know if Taraji has had any more children other than her one son?
I don't think so.
So that's my point. It's like, if you only had that one son, and even if your son had 5 grandkids, you don't need. Oh, if your son had 5 kids and you have 5 grandkids, you don't need more than a 4 to 5 bedroom house.
Yeah, it's the communities they be buying their houses in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you're making money and you're spending it on the things that you want, just like the rest of us. But so that I play a little bit like, okay, you doing way better than a whole lot of black people.
Yeah, of course.
So I get it. You don't think you're getting paid as much as you should be, and the system is messed up. But you, as someone that is in that high level of acting, you're getting paid more than so many people. It's probably insane for all the people that want to actually be in high roles. But at the same time, I can say that the system itself is not designed for us to win.
Or to be successful. Yeah.
Well, if you win, you're successful. So if it's not designed for us to win, then that means we need to create a system of our own. And that's the hard part, because we want that mansion, that big mansion, right? So we spend the money on the big mansion, and then we are upset because we don't have enough money to do what we want to do, or the enough money when the last check gets paid out, I don't have enough to go to myself. The issue that we have in America with black people is we think we need to be successful and millionaires in one generation.
But what about people's comfort? Like, I understand like working hard and stuff like that, but you have to like eventually enjoy the fruits of your labor. So.
Yeah, you do. But how much is that fruits of your labor? And okay, enjoy the fruits of your labor, but you also need to be building something.
Yeah, of course. You set a foundation.
That's an issue with a lot of us, though, and I think I'm gonna say that I think Taraji, because her level of frustration is going through that. She is thinking at the level of where she is instead of thinking at the level where her legacy could bring her and her and everybody that follows behind her.
Yeah,
it's not that you need to make a whole lot of money. You need to establish something that generations behind you can climb up on.
Yeah.
but we want to make a whole lot of money right now when we're not that far past. Honestly, we're not that far past slavery. 150 years.
Yeah.
We're 150 years past slavery after 400 years of slavery. It's like, why we have to understand that we are further now than we were then, and we still have further to go. The only way we can actually get to that point is when we start making our own, when we start doing multiple Tyler Perry setups.
Yeah.
Where we don't need Sony or all these other companies, Disney and all of that, to cast ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
And pay us the money that we deserve. We build it ourselves. But like I said, I go back to what I was saying. We feel like we're supposed to have the level of generational wealth in one generation when it's supposed to be this generation builds for the next generation, that generation builds for this generation. Sidney Poitier wasn't making a whole lot of money. Harry Belafonte wasn't making a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
But they paved the way for so many other black men and women to get roles. Now that we get the roles, we need to use the money in order to build something larger instead of wanting to have that lifestyle.
But crazy thing is, a lot of people, they're not as far off as they think they are. Like, as long as you're living within your means and trying to improve yourself, you're actually doing good.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's like you're doing well. You want to be doing better.
Yeah.
Got it. I understand that.
Just strive for
You want to be doing better. That is a good aspiration. But we should also understand that doing better is not always me doing better for my own lifestyle, but me doing better to build something for the next generation to add to. Everybody, you know what? Matter of fact, I just thought about this. If Tyler Perry did what he did, why Denzel ain't got his own studio?
He should.
Why Terrence Howard could have one? I mean, who else? Who's big on top? And I mean, Wesley Snipes lost all his money and spent all his money and didn't pay taxes. But Denzel and Wesley Snipes were in the same era.
Yeah, they were.
Because they both, when they was in that music movie, that was really good.
And then you got
Denzel
Will Smith,
but
player. You got Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon is doing things, but he's doing things in the music. He's doing other things too. He got like 100 things going on.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, okay, there should be multiple Tyler Perrys right now. Multiple studios. There should be a Tyler Perry studio. There should be a Denzel Washington studio. But it kind of should have been a Bill Cosby.
But Denzel, he does reach back and help other people.
Yes, he does.
Brings them up.
But we
should have like an academy of training actors.
Exactly. Not just training, but he should have his own production company.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That way, here's the thing: they will always see us. It is the way America is built. They will always see us as a number or someone or an asset in order to pay the lowest amount so that they can make the most amount so they can get them bonus checks.
Yeah.
That's the capitalist economy. So we have to understand that and take the money that we do get and divert that into doing something for us. It's like when Tulsa and all those other big cities that we built got burned to the ground, we said, oh well, we tried. No, we have to keep going. Build again. If we built it once, we can build it again.
Yeah. I never understood why they didn't build that back. Like, I understand the hurt and everything behind it.
Yeah, a lot of people what it was. Go ahead.
It's something to get over your hurt and come back stronger.
A lot of people that were doing the great things were murdered. So the people that were left over or that survived, they were so
clueless.
Not clueless. They were so traumatized that they just wanted to to just sit down and survive. But us having seen it, we should be if everybody that knows about Tulsa, Oklahoma should understand that it's possible and be working towards that.
Yeah.
Because we know history proves that we're capable of doing it. We just need to do it.
Yeah, but back then people were more so in like a union instead of against each other. Nowadays, people are competing with each other, and
it's okay to have competition. Competition breeds more success,
but friendly competition.
Yes,
like, if you're doing something and you have a service or a product you can't give to that person, okay, I can't really help you, but I can refer you to somebody else. They won't do that. Instead, they'll try to hook them up with something else that they have going, you know?
Yeah. But that's another thing that we just need to change.
Yeah.
So, Taraji, we definitely understand. What do you think in the comments, though? What do you think? How do you feel about what Taraji P. Henson said? What do you feel about how we need to move in order to get to where we want to be? And should we just be trying to reach wealth, a high level of wealth in one generation?
Yeah.
Because what's built fast can fall fast. Is it sustainable? That's what's important.
Yep. So let us know in the comments, and we'll be looking out for you.
When it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom.
So next up, what we got? What we got? Oh, yes, sir. So everybody knows Ebony K. Williams. You remember her?
Yes.
Right? So I was looking through some stuff through videos, and I came across an interview that Ebony K. Williams did with one of the other co-hosts on one of the shows that she's on. And she was talking about finding that, or what she wants in a man. And I thought it very, very funny, but also relevant, because she was describing what most women want in a man, thinking that she was like original. It was so funny to me. She's like, yeah, she literally said that most women don't want what she wants. I'm like, what are you talking about? I women want that. Black women want it. So, it was a pretty long interview, but it talked about how she got to where she is, what her background is, and all of that. And then it got to the question of, like, what does she want? And this is what she described as what she wants.
Is the driving force of the vision. I like a visionary, Torre. I like a man with some excellence. I like a man who, when I come home from an average everyday experience, and I say, "Listen, sweetheart, I'm managing. I'm contemplating this move and this move and this and how this plays out," and I want a man, Torre, that can actually advise me, who can say,
"Wait a minute,
what?
Wait a minute. I was with you until then."
Okay.
I was.
You can go where the hell you want to go.
Well, no, I want to push back on that.
This is so funny because it was so funny watching it, because I'm like, this is exactly what I've been talking about.
Yeah.
She wants a man that can advise her. She wants a visionary man, right?
Yeah.
She wants a leader. And I'm like, what are you talking about, your original? That's what every educated black woman wants.
That's true.
Every educated black woman wants a man that's a leader, that has a vision, that can give her execute. Yes. Yeah, but she wasn't worried about execute. She wanted somebody who could advise her,
counsel.
But she used the word advise. So she wants. It reminded me of a king, a president, a queen, all who are at the top and want someone to give them additional viewpoints or input so that they can make the decision.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's basically what women want, is for somebody to advise them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can ultimately give your feedback and say, hey, I think this is what you should do. But at the end of the day,
she's gonna make her decision.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it was funny because, and this goes back to what I was saying, like, there's so many women in this world, and specifically black women, describe the man that they want as, I want a leader.
Yeah.
But what they really want is what Ebony said, is she wants someone who can advise her so that she can make a decision. She even went further to say that in this next one.
Things in the 90s, whatever. They were like, the last person I want advice from is my husband. Like, I want him to be strong and tough, but tell other people shit. I don't want your advice.
I didn't say he needed to run me, Torre. What I mean, though, is
when I want advice, he can give it to me.
Correct. In the same way that if I look at most of my female friends, they can't always advise on the same topic areas. But sis, if I can't be like, I don't know, like if I need to trust your judgment. I guess this is a judgment issue, Torre.
And that's it. That's what it really is. But what women need to understand is, if that's what you want, say that. Don't say, I want a leader. Don't say, I want to come home. I'm at work and I call so many shots. I want to come home and just not have to worry about it and just tell me what to do. Don't say that, because that's confusing.
It just wants somebody. If you say, I want a leader, they want to know that you have the ability to lead people.
Right.
But not basically them.
Right. And then it goes back to what I was saying before. I've said in previous episodes, a successful black woman wants a man who is a leader.
Yeah.
Not so that he can lead her, but so that he can bring good ideas to the table that she can use to make her decisions on what she wants to do.
But that's because nowadays, as black females, we're kind of almost like head of households. Like, these men have left. They left their families and their children, and it's just the black female that's holding kind of everything up.
But then I understand that. But at the same time, why isn't she raising men that lead?
Because she doesn't know what a leader is.
I thought she's a leader for her household.
She's a leader and head of a household, but she doesn't know or recognize what it is to see a man lead, to be a leader, and then to see like somebody of another sex lead is two totally different things. Because how a man leads is different from how a woman or female leads. A lot of times we lead off of like emotion and like how it tends to make us feel.
Yeah.
Instead of using like logic, and a lot men use logic and reason. They don't associate too much with like feelings, or how is this gonna make me feel? How is this gonna make them feel?
Yeah.
So if you bring both of those together, then you understand that, okay, this is how this person moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That just like you, I say your textbook, because I can pretty much flip a page. I know what you're gonna do.
You know, because I'm gonna do the thing that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So me, I'm pretty much unpredictable. You never know what you're gonna get. You can you can throw a dice, you won't get something.
Yeah.
But men lead in a different way.
Yeah.
Than females. That's that bottom line.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah, for sure. And I add to that real men, like not the ones that say they're a man because they can.
It takes a lot to be a man and to be able to lead and like guide somebody. That's it. You have to be real strong for that, because
You do.
it comes with like battles and things that you're not even like prepped to face.
Yeah.
But if you have like that ability to like nourish and like send somebody on their way, you can
So,
basically.
and when I think about being a leader, a man being a leader,
Mhm.
the leader has to understand that the outcome is the most important thing, not how he feels.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where if a man is a leader, he has to bite his tongue because there's some things that he would want to say
Mhm.
that he cannot say in that moment,
Mhm.
lest it be harmful to the whole situation.
Yeah. And that's where feelings come in play.
Exactly. And then a leader, because you're a leader, you can understand that, okay, this is not the right time for me to talk about this. I'm going to do that later.
Yeah.
I'll address that later. Right now, we're going to get through this.
Mhm.
And a lot of men that haven't learned to be leaders are not able to do that and identify, okay, this I will say because it will be harmful for me not to say it in this moment.
Mhm.
The other thing I will say later or talk about it later because it might not harm right now, but it could harm the future. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we haven't had like a female president yet.
Yeah.
Like you have Nikki Haley in the running.
Yeah.
And remember that political campaign they had just a while ago, and is Ramaswamy his name?
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was like at her neck, and you can tell she's like getting like emotional.
Like when he mentioned her daughter, I think it was. Yeah, she went off.
Yeah, like you have to have your emotions in check.
Yeah.
Before you call yourself one to represent and stuff. Men, they know how to like push buttons and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, you're set off
right
as a female. But if you're able to like internalize those emotions and not like throw it out, then
honestly, it's a tactical thing.
Yeah, it's hard.
I can do this for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
So dang, we went off for all of that just off of Ebony. Yeah. So look, hit the like button, comment, tell us what you think. Am I right? Am I pulling it from the right direction? I really literally just pulled. I mean, I said it before, and then Ebony K just said it, and it's almost like identical to what I've said before. So, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Do women want a leader, or do they want an advisor? Especially the women. Let us know if Ebony K. Williams is right. Make a comment. Yep. So, hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and we're moving on to the next issue. So, next thing is so Obama is in kind of hot water, especially from those Anglo-Saxons, because he, of course, we were talking about it. He was a producer on the Leave the World Behind movie, and which was a great movie.
Yeah,
it really was. If you haven't seen it, pause right now, go see it. I'm gonna spoil some stuff. So the movie itself it was a scenario of America being attacked.
Yeah.
And they started with the electricity and then the communications. And then as things started to spiral, they were putting out leaflets like propaganda from airplanes, and what they did was they caused chaos, and eventually the people of America turned on each other. But a big thing, the reason where President Obama is under some hot water is because the white people felt like he should have made sure that some things that were in the movie were not in the movie. Specifically, there was a conversation between a black man and his daughter about when the world starts to go into chaos, you cannot give out willy-nilly giving trust to everyone, and especially for white people. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it was saying.
Yeah.
So people are upset because they're saying that that Obama was supporting language that was hateful towards white people, saying, "Oh, everybody everybody's allowed to bash white people." Huh.
I mean, if you go off of history, then
boom, that's where I'm taking it. I literally just said earlier in this episode that we haven't even been free from slavery for 200 years yet. We're at like about 150-ish.
Yeah, there's people that's still alive that have like the great grandparent that used to like pick cotton and stuff
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
So to say that it's hate speech to say that you can't trust white people if the world comes to an end is not too far off, because history in the span of the last 200 years has shown those people causing harm to us black people for their self-gain.
Yeah,
so if the world is ending, what do you think will be their natural? For one, naturally, everybody is every man for themselves or their family. That's the first thing they're going to do, is protect their family, right? And especially in this situation of the movie, you have a white family and a black family. The obvious thing is, if it comes down to my family or your family, I'm going to choose my family if we're talking about survival.
Yeah.
So whether it be black, white, Indian, or whatever, that certain race will probably choose their family for survival. But the issue is, they think that the last 100, we didn't even get civil rights till 64. So you count that we're literally only 60 years.
Yeah.
Just under 60 years where we actually had civil rights. And that was after the death of how many? So we've had the same rights as white people for only 60 years, and you want 60 years to wash away 400.
Because they just like sweeping things under the rug. There's it's crazy.
I don't think they want to sweep it under the rug, though. I think they want. Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, they want to sweep it under the rug because they said, but they will admit that those things were wrong, but not want to do the mending that's required to overcome a wrongdoing.
Yeah,
that's the big problem with white people in America.
Yeah,
there's not all, but a large majority are not for reparations for black people.
And speaking of reparations, in New York, they were looking into giving reparations to black people.
Yeah,
just recently.
They're looking into it in California. They're looking into it, but when they calculate how much money it actually is, it's too much for them to give to us.
Like, do other things like free education. They gave the and forgive me for saying this, but they gave the Native Americans their dues.
They gave them land, even though they killed most of them.
Yeah,
but they gave them land after the Japanese were in prison during World War II. They gave them reparations for the pain of being put in imprisonment camps. They gave Japan itself reparations for hitting them with 2 bombs. They gave, who else did they? I mean, they
even protected like and this isn't relative to that, but remember when they were attacking Asians?
Yeah.
And they gave them a whole bunch of like protection and stuff like
the
that.
hate crime bill for Asians. Yep.
Yeah, even nowadays,
they give everything. They give all the reparations and all the mending actions for everyone but us.
Yeah.
So why would you expect us to trust you when you have proven to us that you will give everybody else their due but us?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go all the way back to the Reconstruction and give us what you promised us in the before the Reconstruction or before the fall or dismantlement of the Reconstruction? Give us that. You don't know. You don't want to give us that. And did you want us to trust you? Like, I know that if it comes down to your money or my well-being, you're going to choose your money.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all white people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying a large group of white people that are doing the voting do not want to give us any reparations. But when we look at history, you've given it to others.
Yeah.
You don't want us to have it. That also goes back to Taraji P. Henson. Mm-hmm. You don't want us to level up because you know that us leveling up, if we actually did, minus some people that's just gonna go out and buy a bunch of flat screen TVs, we would accomplish 3, 4, 500 times what we did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other cities.
Yeah,
but you don't want to do that because we've already been systemically put in this box that we're not able to get out of.
Yeah.
But on that movie though, so what it was, hit the like button, comment. What do you think about how they think that we can just that they're the victims that can have hate cast against them?
Yeah.
Even though we've only been free as black people for 60 years. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. But I want to go deeper into the movie itself because so while President Obama was not actually giving input on that specific area. He was giving input on the specifics of how things could come about in a full-on war from outside outside states or countries. So, why does that matter? Because he was telling them that they were very close to being spot on of what could happen based off of what he knows.
Yeah.
And so this is probably the point where people are going to be like, I don't care about news. But I'm just going to talk about it because hopefully you stay tuned. So China has just made it clear that they're going to take back Taiwan. They want to do it without force, but they're willing to do it with force. We're at war in Russia. We got war in Israel. We got Iran attacking ships in the Red Sea because Israel is at war in Gaza against Palestinians. We got all that going on. We also got America not giving us our just due. So, because of that, we are in prime real estate for the next World War.
Yeah.
And the movie itself displays so much because the first thing they did was take out the lights and then the communication, right? And it's like the dad put out the neighbor's satellite phone, right? Well, a neighbor's satellite phone, which is supposed to always get a signal no matter what, unless the satellites are down.
Yeah.
So if the phone didn't work, that means the satellites are down. That's just a movie, right? No. It's not just a movie. It's exactly what China is capable of. And we're going to show it to you.
China, but this battlefield is in space. NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Cubey was given rare access inside an Alabama facility that's on the front lines, guarding the U.S. against new possible threats from.
There are rising fears about a new arms race in space. To learn more about it, we had a rare inside look at a facility in Alabama that's on the front lines, helping to defend the United States in space.
Growing tensions between the U.S. and China now extending to hundreds of miles above the Earth.
We know when we're threatened. We need to be able to counter the threat.
To get an inside look at some of the latest American technology to counter the Chinese threat, we went to United Launch Alliance's factory in Alabama, working on defenses against things like Chinese satellites that can use robotic arms to drag other satellites out of orbit, meaning China could disable critical American communication satellites.
They were actually able to grab a hold of one of their defunct GPS or Beta satellites.
What is the concern about them having that kind of capability in space?
Anything that can interact with a spacecraft for servicing is inherently capable of interacting with the spacecraft to harm it or to gather intelligence from it.
And fears that China is moving faster than the U.S. in this new space race, including not just in space, but the skies just above us, not only using satellites, but spy balloons and hypersonic missiles.
When you look at the threat from China in space right now, what concerns you the most?
We seem to be asleep at the switch.
Dean Chang is an expert on China's space program, which has more than doubled in the past 5 years.
Do you think that China militarily is ahead of the U.S. in space?
I think the Chinese one are giving us a real good run for the money.
He says another potential Chinese threat to the U.S. from space includes a cyber attack that allows China to remotely take control of an American satellite.
You could say to the satellite, deorbit, come crashing down, and there goes $1 billion payload crashing into the Pacific.
Or disrupt American missile defense systems.
The really scary one, of course, is if you could spoof missile early warning systems so that they don't report a missile launch. That's the ultimate nightmare.
U.S. officials tell NBC News China can already do both. And China successfully launched its own refueler a few weeks ago, which enables China to keep its satellites in orbit longer. In the meantime, the U.S. may still be months away from the same technology. And multiple U.S. military officials tell us, perhaps most concerning, China launched a hypersonic missile capable of orbiting the globe over and over, then suddenly dropping to Earth before most missile defense systems can respond.
We continue to look at that very closely, but that's a capability they just recently demonstrated.
A possible defense, lasers.
You can't outmaneuver a speed of light laser.
But while China has used a space laser to overload a sensor on a U.S. satellite, U.S. officials won't say whether they've fielded those same defenses yet. Back to you.
All right, Courtney, thank you.
We both watched the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the first step of the movie is literally in the hands of what China's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, I know. Okay, we want to talk about. Okay, we want to talk about Cardi B and Offset and Offset and Blueface, and we want to talk about Blueface and Soulja Boy and Krishan and all of this stuff. That stuff don't matter. We need to really understand what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We have to.
Yeah.
This is why we need to pay attention. But let me tell you why we really need to pay attention, because guess what? Military recruiting is way down.
It sure is.
So who you think they gonna pull on the front line? The same people they pulled on the front line in Vietnam. My uncle was drafted. I know another not young gentleman. He's like 89 now, who was drafted. What do you think is going to happen? The same thing that happened back in 1965. They're going to draft us into the next war, regardless of whether or not you want to be there or not.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, and I'm gonna leave it at this and go ahead and close out this episode. If I can get this more to.
Yeah, but this battle.
Oh, wrong button. Last thing I'm gonna talk about. What you got any comments on that last one, the war thing?
No, I know war is coming.
It's coming.
We've been getting the warnings. Everybody should be prepared. You should have like your dry goods and stuff. It's coming. Just make sure you stand on ready.
And you can stand on ready, but at least be mentally and emotionally and physically prepared for your sons and daughters to get drafted.
Yep.
If it comes down to it.
And girls, it's no
equal rights.
Yep.
Equal rights. For sure. So last thing I want to talk about is this.
Amazon has been showcasing its latest innovation, a robot that could do the same jobs as humans in its warehouses and work around the clock. So what do the workers who might be replaced by the technology one day think about it all? NBC News technology correspondent Jake Ward found out.
Before now, robots could only replace part of a human job, enough to make coffee or an omelet. But this is Digit, a robot its makers say is ready to do what human warehouse workers do.
And it can lift about 35 pounds. You know, the robot weighs about what a person would weigh. It can reach about the size of what a person can reach. You know, we're really going for that kind of like OSHA regulations and requirements for the robot.
Agility Robotics is funded in part by Amazon, which is investing $1 billion in new industrial technologies. Amazon has already started testing Digit in its Seattle Robotics Research and Development Facility, potentially adding to the company's fleet of more than 750,000 robots. And the company's investors have big ambitions for them.
The fact that it can enter places that were designed for humans and solve those challenges that exist without having to rebuild the environment for automation.
And it doesn't quit.
And it doesn't quit.
They're about $250,000, so they're not inexpensive. But, you know, over just a few years, they're worth it.
As of 2022, Amazon employed about 36% of warehouse workers in the U.S., a workforce that often complains about the injury risk of working to get packages to customers in 2 days or less, according to OSHA. Amazon says the safety of its employees is its top priority.
I just really feel this is Amazon's attempt to focus their attention away from those of us that have been injured and are fighting to get medical care and fair wages and safer working conditions. I wish they would spend their money in just making it a safer place to work for the rest of us, you know, those of us that need jobs and need a paycheck, you know, rather than coming up with technology that could push some of us out the door.
Digit, company backers say, changes the game for any logistics company.
This robot doesn't need to go home and see his family, doesn't need healthcare benefits, doesn't need retraining when you change the process and how it works, and you don't have to worry about turnover and injuries and those types of things.
So considering all those things, $250,000 is sort of a bargain.
It kind of pays for itself if you think of it as 2 or 3 shifts.
But what does it mean for workers if a robot does the job?
I don't think we can expect the free market to ensure that those workers are going to land in good quality jobs. We are going to need some kind of intervention. It is often necessary for government to intervene, particularly with respect to job training. Employers very rarely take on the responsibility for training workers who are not going to remain in that employer's workplace.
Agility is also planning to open RoboFab, a soon-to-be 70,000 square foot facility in Salem, Oregon, with the potential to pump out 10,000 bots a year.
Right now, Digit is multi-purpose in that we come in and program the same robot with no changes to do a bunch of different workflows in a relatively constrained set of environments. But, you know, rapidly it's going to start doing more and more things in the world.
Jake Ward, NBC News, San Francisco.
Honestly, if you're not paying attention to this, if you don't see what's going on, so here we go. When we were doing sharecropping,
yeah,
and we were on plantations making little money for the actual plantation owner to make the most of the money because he was renting out his equipment to us. When the machines were able to actually pick the crops of cotton,
Mm-hmm.
we were pushed off the plantation.
Yeah.
Now we have less males, especially black males, getting education in higher level degrees. And then we have robots that are coming in and being able to do what we would do, which is the 36% of the warehouse jobs
Mm-hmm.
being in Amazon. When they get to the point where they're able to fully implement this, where are your sons going to be at?
Yeah.
They're going to be drafted, like we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, what are we doing to prepare ourselves for the next level of being pushed out of the employee market? I'm gonna need y'all to start teaching these kids to go, or getting these kids to go. For one, volunteer to the military, because at least you have enough time to begin a financial plan. Because when you get drafted, let me tell you what happens if you get drafted into the military. When they start bringing in drafts, the paperwork is going to be so fast and so full that your paperwork and your pay, your children's pay, might not even hit immediately.
Mm-hmm.
We all know how S1 is. They lose documents more than the doggone toilet paper down the toilet. So the pay of your children getting drafted might not meet the exact same time that they get drafted.
Yeah.
So they get drafted and might not get paid, but also I'm gonna need y'all to go into aviation.
Mm-hmm.
We got a whole lot of pilots that are retiring, that are not able to continue flying.
Yeah.
Air traffic control. They are thousands and thousands of people behind on that.
Mm-hmm.
Windmill technicians. They're making over $100,000 to climb up a windmill and do work on that. I need y'all to go get certifications, because guess what? Not having a certification and just going to get a warehouse job, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
We did an episode a couple of months ago where the bus in, what was it, Ireland?
Yeah, Ireland.
The bus in Ireland is able to drive itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the UPS man going to be put out of job. Look, I need you to go get a technical skill. If you're not going to go to a 4-year college, get your business and all the other levels of degrees, your computer science degrees, then I need you to go and get a technical certification so that you can go get a job to work on the robots. Because guess what? If Amazon got more robots, guess what they're going to need? More robot technicians.
Yeah.
Go get the degrees and the certifications and that stuff. Otherwise, when you get drafted and they use you for all they can, you're going to still be in a boat with nothing.
Yeah.
Taraji P. Henson is talking about it right now at her level. How bad you think it's going to be at your level?
Yeah.
Anyway, hit the comment button. Tell us what you think. Are you ready? Are you getting ready? Have you even understood what's going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot going on. I understand there's so many pieces moving, but you have to learn which pieces to pay attention to for understanding and which pieces that you don't always have to pick up for entertainment.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some understanding in what's going on in the world. I know I kind of took over the whole show at that point. But honestly, there was things that have to be said. I haven't even started talking about Elon Musk and what happened 2 weeks ago, but that's important too. That's something we need to understand about how that whole thing went down with his big interview and him giving the finger to all the people that don't want to advertise on X. It's insane. And there's some things that we need to understand. But I'm going to stop talking. And I'm going to give your girl Trish the last word.
Well, if you reach this far, please remember to hit like, comment, share, and subscribe. We thank you for your support. I am your girl Trish.
I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.